Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. We're going to get straight into this video, which is Okolie versus Krzysztof Glowacki for the Championship of the World. I think it's WBO, I could be wrong. Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Let's talk about it. Okay, so this is the fight we'll talk about. Okolie versus Glowacki. I'm not sure why it's Okolie versus Glowacki. I would have thought Glowacki versus Okolie. Obviously, Glowacki has fought at a much higher class. He's been more successful at a much higher class. My first time I seen Glowacki actually was when he fought Michael Huck, and Michael was going for his, I think he was either, when he's making for a record title defense, and Huck fighting him, and just seeing Huck's chin up in the air all the time. I think Glowacki caught him with a good shot, and the fight was over. That was Huck, and he was like considered at the time probably the best cruiserweight in the world, if not the best, one of the best cruiserweights in the world. The thing is with this fight, I have to be honest with you. The one fight I saw, I think it was Lawrence Okolie fighting for the cruiserweight, the European cruiserweight title, and he's been pretty much fast tracked to Lawrence Okolie, British, Commonwealth, European, and he's gone through the gears quite well. But his fight against the European champion, that was a concern for me, because although he won it, in that fight I felt the European champion buzzed him, and in that fight I didn't like Okolie's body language. Yes, he won and he stopped the guy at the end, but I'm very much interested in body language. I'm very interested in how a person goes about the business, you know. I think it's very important. Fighters fight with patterns. I'll always say fighters fight with patterns. And Lawrence Okolie, he's long, he's tall, he carries a big punch. He seems to like to dish it out. I'm not so sure how he likes to take it. There's some fighters that can dish it out and can take it, but there's some guys that can dish it out, but when it comes to them having to take it, the game plan goes out the window. They cannot box to a game plan, and therefore they almost fall apart. And this is where it comes to this fight of me against Glowacki. We know Glowacki can take a punch. We know Glowacki can give a punch. We know Glowacki doesn't mind mixing it up. Alexander Usyk and Uncle Bashir, we watched that fight live, and we were behind the scenes for that fight, and we saw how Usyk made sure he did not engage with Glowacki. Instead, he used his feet, footwork, and he boxed around Glowacki. Now, Glowacki has not fought since I think 2019, and sometimes in a fighter's career, that's not a good thing. But sometimes in a fighter's career, that ends up being a good thing because they get the time to rest. We won't know until fight time. What we do know is that Glowacki and Okolie are for two different levels. You have to ask yourself the question, who has Okolie fought to fight Glowacki now? I mean, you could say it's a good time for Okolie to win this fight because Glowacki hasn't fought for a long time, but it's levels in this game. It's levels. And I know people are going to jump on the Shane McGuigan bandwagon, but I would say hold it right there. Because what Okolie's been doing at a certain level, Shane McGuigan might look great with Okolie, you know, because his style is ugly. He likes to grab and hold. He's doing less grabbing and holding. Maybe in this fight against Glowacki, the grabbing and holding might be effective against a guy whose best chance for me is to get on the inside and hit Okolie on the chin. What I'm basically saying is Okolie's big right hand, we don't know how big a punch he is at world level because he hasn't fought anybody at world level. And it's okay lining up people with that right hand who are not very skilled or not very experienced or putting away guys that you should be putting away. Again, I go back to European champion. And the guy who fought the last fight, I mean, who was he? Do you understand? So it's when you're getting a position, and the true test of a trainer and a fighter is when that fighter is put under fire, under pressure, and he's then using those skills under pressure and then being successful. People are too quick to praise trainers. Oh, he's gone to Shane McGuigan. So what? The proof in the pudding is in eating. And the proof in this particular situation is fighting a guy that is of a certain level. We know is a world-class fighter who has fought at world level and is fought and be successful at world level. Now, the guys that have beaten Glowacki are good fighters. Let's put that into consideration as well. I don't know how good Lawrence Okolie is, but for me, the key point is, yes, Okolie might go there and blast Glowacki out of it. He might do. I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows about Okolie. I just don't know what happens when he gets hit on the chin. His reactions when he got hit on the chin in that European fight, I didn't like it. He reminded me of Henry Akinwande all over again. And I just wonder if Glowacki hits Okolie on the chin early, will he revert to the grabbing and the holding and the tying up? See, fighters return to go back to type when things are not going their way or things are out of their control. It's all well looking good off a jab and banging a right hand and knocking a guy over when there's no opposition. When a guy comes to fight and he cracks you on the chin, how do you respond? Hard. And he makes your legs do a fun little dance. How do you respond? That's the question that people need to be asking about Lawrence Okolie. Because truly, if he can take a punch off Glowacki and he can come through a test, then we are looking at a potential world champion and a champion that could last. If you can't take a punch in the cruiserweight division, you're in big trouble, because the cruiserweight division is outside the heavyweights. It's got some serious bad mamma jamma punches in there, and if you can't take a shot, you're in the wrong division. So I don't care how long Okolie's jab is, I don't care how big his right hand is, I care about his durability and his ability to withstand punches if a guy decides to get on the inside. That's my concern. You know what I mean? Glowacki, you just don't know what he's coming into the ring with. You really don't. And you think, well, it's for a vacant belt, sure. But I just don't, I haven't seen what Okolie's done, who he's fought, for me to be. I've seen him do it at British, come from European level. I've seen that. But again, at European level, I wasn't convinced. Not a guy who don't want to be there does not convince me that you're going to be a world champion. I'm sorry. You have to do a bit more to me in that. And if Okolie goes on and he blows away Glowacki, I might say, okay, all right, we may have something here. But at the moment, I'm going to sit on the bench, because Okolie could be doing very well. Glowacki steps inside, bang, fight over. Okay, so I don't know what Okolie's chin's like, and because of the way he responded wasn't very positive. Because of that, the way you know how good a fighter is isn't when he's knocking people over who don't want to be there. The way you know a fighter is good or a boxer is good is when he's facing opposition, throwing punches back at him, and coming to fight. That's how you know if somebody's very good. You don't know how somebody's good if they're just punching people and they're falling over. They're called punching bags, patsies. You know what I mean? When a guy comes to have a rumble with you, when a guy comes to have a fight with you, that is really where, for me, I will always be like that. I'll be honest with you, I prefer battle-tested fights. Not battle-tested. I want to see, you've got to show me something in your fights that I've seen you be put under pressure. I've got to see you go through a test. Because back in the day, there was none of this fast-tracking business. You know, you fought you did British, Commonwealth, European, right? And then you would work towards world level. You would fight somebody in the top 10. okay, let's see where you're at. We're not seeing that now. We're seeing guys fight, maybe not even fight for a British title, and they're fighting for a world title. That's what's happening now. And so we're not really getting the true picture. All these guys are getting fast tracked and not quite ready, so they haven't got experience. Even if Okolie does get past Glowacki, there's some killers in that division that you can't be like, well, you know, I'm just going to take my time and I'm going to learn on the job. None of that business is going to happen. Not cruiserweight division. So like I said, I'm not getting into the Shane McGuigan hype. Not that I'm saying Shane McGuigan is a great trainer, but Shane McGuigan also trained Luke Campbell and trained a few other guys as well. I've seen get a hiding and nothing said. You know, it's something that I think should happen in boxing. This is a personal opinion. I think in boxing, we should start having ratings for trainers. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. In box rec, there's ratings. The 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star fight. We should have the same thing with boxing trainers. We should be able to know our trainers in terms of what they've done, not their name, but what they've achieved, and not by what they've achieved just by picking up or taking a fight from one gym to another gym that's already established. We should be able to say a trainer that's had a fighter from scratch and they've taken them to become a world champion. Those trainers we need to be looking at, not trainers who've already worked with fighters that are already skilled. What do? You polish up a fight, that's okay. But a real trainer, for me, a real trainer is one who puts the hard work in from the start and takes a fighter from nothing and takes him to world champion, or takes him from nothing and takes him to British, Commonwealth, European. You understand? There's too many of these TV trainers out there that are taking loss after loss after loss at the highest level, loss after loss after loss. And we still accept them as experts. We still accept them as the best. But that's like you going to a doctor and every time you go to a doctor, I bet you have a stomach upset. Every time you go to the doctor, you leave the doctor and your stomach's worse afterwards. You understand? Or you go to your car mechanic, you put your car in to get the engine fixed, and you come out and you drive down the road, the engine is breaking down. It takes you 2 miles up the road and it breaks, and you've got to go back to that guy again. The job's not being done properly. And I think trainers need to start being starred based on what they do in the corner, in the gym, with the fighters, and they need to be marked. Because I remember the referees, they said, "Oh, it's a 5-star, 3-star, 4-star referee." They had that in British boxing. We had a sort of, this is a star referee. Well, we need to know what a star coach is. So we stop being fooled by people saying, "Oh, he's got Adam Booth in the corner." So what? So what? Adam Booth was in the corner with Josh Kelly. Didn't stop Josh Kelly getting beaten, did it? So all these trainers that keep pulling names up all the time, fed up of it. Do you know what I mean? It's not about what your name is, it's about what you do that determines you to be a good trainer. And a lot of trainers are not getting a look in because of that. Do you understand? So it's not a slight on any trainer that is there, but the same trainers keep getting called up all the time. So the same trainers keep getting the accolades, even if they could get, their fights could all get smashed at world level, but it's okay because they're connected to the promoter. And I don't think that's quite fair. Do you understand? Because there's no growth in the sport that way. So, you know, that's the way I look at things. And I guess boxing is a sport where you can't cut corners. Boxing is a sport where you get found out if you're not doing the right things in camp, you're not doing the right things in training. Like this thing with Callum Smith, 4 weeks to prepare for Canelo. You allowed that. Jessica McGaskill said something the other day that was really interesting at the end of her second fight of Breakers. And like I said, the way I was able to predict the Breakers, the McGaskill to do it again, is because fighters fight in patterns. Breakers, at 39 years old, was not suddenly going to change his style. And particularly when a fighter turns around and tells you, they come out and make things like, you know, they didn't really beat me, I wasn't at my best, I wasn't in there, all that sort of nonsense. That's not acknowledging the fighter. And when you don't acknowledge the fighter and acknowledge you get beat, of course, what happens is that you're not making adjustments, so that when somebody comes again with the same thing or better, you can't make the adjustments. And this is what's happening, and this is what happens. So back to the Okolie fight. As far as I'm concerned, for this Okolie fight, it's a guy I know that's fought at world level in Glowacki and got beat by some top guys, versus a guy who I don't know what his chin's like. I don't know what he's like when he gets hit on it. I don't know what he's like when he how he responds under pressure. So on the basis of that, I can't go. If I'm saying Lawrence Okolie wins because he's big and he's strong and he's long, that I can't go based on that. Because you're big and you're tall and you're long, there's more of you to hit. You understand? So I can't. If Okolie goes out there and he blasts out Glowacki, hats off to him. Well done. You know what I mean? You've shown that you can punch at this level, and maybe Glowacki, you know, he hasn't fought since 2019. Blah 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 blah. I don't think, and if Okolie gets not taken out by Glowacki, that doesn't bode very well for him. A guy hasn't fought since 2019. Again, that doesn't bode well for him. So Lawrence Okolie is in an interesting situation here. So I'm not going to go on the fence for this one, but I get the feeling, just the feeling, that if Glowacki gets on the inside, if he's able to get on the inside, or he's able to hurt Okolie, if he's able to connect on Okolie's chin, at that point there, that's where we're going to see where Okolie's going at world level. Once he gets, if he gets clipped, if Glowacki gets nailed before Okolie does, if Glowacki can take what Okolie's got and can nail Okolie, that's what I want to know. At that point there, we're going to know where Okolie is at world level. It was almost like when Chris Eubank fought Nigel Benn. Nobody knew about Eubank's chin until the moment that Ben landed, bang, and Eubank took it. Right. Now this guy's durable. He's durable. He can take a good punch. You know, he can dig deep when necessary. He can punch himself. You know, and he's durable. He's strong. He takes a good shot, and he's a good counter puncher. So then that puts the puzzle together. With Okolie, we're still putting that puzzle together. And like I said, I don't care what McGuigan's done at the moment, because at the moment, if you're hiding glass and you've not got a good chin, we won't know. We won't know until that moment. I don't care what he's done in sparring, because you can spar all you want. When you get hit with 10-ounce gloves, or 12, when you get hit with them gloves on the chin clean, it's different to sparring. You know, so, you know, we'll wait and see. I heard something in the gym, and it's that thing I heard in the gym, that story I heard in the gym, that wasn't too clever. It's why I'm very much sitting on the fence with the Okolie fight and leaning towards Glowacki. I could be wrong, and like I said, I'm the first to put my hand up and say when I got it wrong. But in this situation, I'm going to go with the experienced fighter, and he might have been out a little longer, so he might be fresh. I don't know. But I'll go with the experienced fighter in this one, which is Glowacki. And if he gets inside of Lawrence Okolie, right there could be the beginning of the end. So for Okolie, he's got to keep Glowacki at the end of the jab, put that right hand down the middle, and just be aware at all times of what Krzysztof Glowacki can do. This is a different level altogether. He has to be careful. He's got to be switched on all the time. So good luck. All the best to Lawrence Okolie. And all the best for him in his fight against Krzysztof Glowacki. But this fight comes with danger written all over it. And one left hand could derail all of Okolie's plans. He's got to be very careful in this fight. Other than that, that's it from me. Hope you've enjoyed the video. And this has been BWTM Sports. Thanks for watching as always. Take care and have a good evening.
Yeah.